The Earth is in ruins, overrun with the robot armies. Bracing herself for a fight, Adwoa leaves the research station to find her daughter. So we're going to be trying to find our daughter, which hopefully we can find Essie and see what happens. So definitely is that's our main objective right now. But welcome back, everyone. Episode 2, stage I guess 2. We're back here again, and there are some new enemy types that we're facing. Namely, there are going to be the little flying robots that we've seen previously, along with the different variants. So there's like a red variant of the walking robot, and there's also another variant that you're actually going to be coming up facing very soon. This is where the difficulty ramps up, but it really gets difficult once it gets to halfway of this particular episode, is where they throw in a few different enemy types that, you know, shoot in different directions, are harder to kill, and are faster in the rate of fire that they actually go to. And also they actually have, on top of all of that, they also start introducing these robots that can jump, but we'll deal with that once we get to it. You'll notice that right now there are different ways that we can actually go about this level. It's a little bit more opened up than the previous episode, so there's a little more exploring that you'll have to do. Once we get, you know, farther into the game, it actually gets bigger and bigger, which is actually one of the cool things, because it kind of goes hand in hand with the story as things get more chaotic. So it makes more sense for everything to kind of open up a little bit more. Stage 2-1, you know, as always with a lot of the earlier stages in each episode, it kind of just gets you familiar with what's to come. And they're going to be really mean in where they put some of the items that you have to collect, like the floppy disk and the computer monitors. Are going to be more in the walls and in other places that you might not expect unless you kind of fool around looking everywhere. Definitely when I first tried to, you know, play through this particular episode, I was like really confused, because there were some spots where I could not find where some of the hidden items would be. So it took a little bit of time going around, and also took a little bit of time looking, you know, on the Steam forums and on some other videos to see where the heck could some of these items be. And it wasn't as easy, since Muri is a relatively smaller game. It's harder to actually find, you know, information about this particular game. I guess that's one of the downsides, but also kind of one of the things that's cool about it. The hardest variation, like these metallic yellow grayish enemies, are the hardest enemies that we're going to be fighting. And it's pretty surprising that they throw them in so early in the game. And that was one instance where, you know, you get the laser, you get the ammo, and also where you have to do a little bit of playing around. So definitely when it comes to Muri, you want to jump around in places that you might least expect to get something. Usually it's a good outcome if you do that. The laser weapon might be my favorite weapon in the entire game, just because I always like weapons that kind of retract. Different games that kind of have that weapon where you can shoot on the wall, then it kind of blasts away, it breaks into like particles to deal more damage to enemies. It's kind of hit or miss in terms of usefulness, but most of the time I just like having those, you know, particular weapons, since it's just something different from the standard weapons that you see. Coming up here, it's much easier if you just, yeah, there we go. Just take out all the enemies while going up on this platform, elevator. We'll just call it an elevator, and make sure you don't miss some of these easily missed like items. A lot in the corners, a lot, as I said, in the hidden areas. But you actually want to take this thing all the way up here, because there is something that I actually didn't really say on the last episode. Yeah, that's a cell. And if you watched the previous episode, I said that all the cells were in like the last stage before the boss. And no, that's not entirely incorrect, because they are always, you know, like near the end, but when I actually went back and like thought about it and actually played, I forgot that for this particular area in 2.2, 2.3, and 2.4 you can find cells. And you know, like in order to get that 100%, you're gonna have to find the cell anyway, but that was just something that I wanted to correct myself on. Later on, we'll actually, you know, get more cells, so that's pretty much the same thing as we've been doing, but yeah, it actually kind of ramps up in how many cells there are, so you want to be on the lookout. You also seen that different enemy there, that kind of like vehicle that shoots in a different direction. There was also that vehicle that we destroyed recently that shot in one direction. We'll be seeing those later on, and boy, oh boy, those are a pain to deal with. There is the variant of the turrets, the hardest variant that we'll actually be facing. Definitely annoying enemies to deal with, and I don't really want to use any ammo, so I'm just going to try and see if I can just destroy most of these without really wasting it. The good thing is, as we collect these cells on this episode, we'll actually see a new weapon, and that is going to be the one after the laser, which is a stronger version of the weapons we previously seen. It fires a little bit slower, but it's much stronger and it actually homes. So that is actually something that's very, very handy to have against the next boss. And we're actually coming up to the end of this level right here. One of the nice things actually about playing through Muri is if you want to do any backtracking, you're not screwed over if you miss something, because there's always a shortcut back. That was an easy 100%. Didn't really take too much damage here so far. I'm feeling pretty good about going through this. Famous last words as we approach the last level before the boss 2-4, where they have this other annoying enemy following you. So there's that ship up there that keeps firing down on you, and this ship does a ton of damage. You got 2 bars. And the thing about Muri is you don't have that invincibility frames that you have in other games. So if you get hit and you get hit again, like I'm doing right here, you'll actually get freaking wrecked. Like, no joke. Not only that, they start introducing the enemies that can jump now. Yeah, this it really gets crazy on 2-4. I'm probably not gonna make it, and no. So you seen my first death. You actually come back where you left off. The game is nice enough to not have you just die, then have to restart everything. But you know, of course, if you do die with all your lives, you're going to have to restart the whole episode over again. So that's what makes this really intense. Not only that, just having all these different enemy types already. And depending on the difficulty, the enemies are still the same. So you'll still have the same metallic enemies that we just seen. We'll have all the enemies there. It's just, you know, harder to deal with. This is like where you pretty much want to not jump on enemies as much as we did in the first episode, because they're firing like so many more bullets on the screen, and you're going to have to spend most of your time trying to dodge the enemies. And you know, if you can, use the spread gun to your advantage, killing multiple enemies at once. And let's just get this enemy out of here so we don't have to deal with it. Oh man, much easier if you're closer, since most of the spread will actually hit the enemy. Now you can actually deal with this ship and then collect everything on top, or you can destroy the ship, which is something I find to be much easier. Of course, if you're doing a speed run of this, you want to get everything first before you destroy the ship, because that backtracking will like waste so much time. But luckily for us, this destroying that ship will grant us a cell. So we have 2 cells. Not only that, 2-4 holds a secret. So this is something that can be easily missed if you're not looking out for it, if you're not exploring. And it's a TV that you come across which has the news. And on the news here will be some really weird stuff. It talks about the disappearance of Mars and, Muri's development. Not only that, the United Army suspects that, our intention is destroy the world and all of that. So this is kind of where all the robots on the news, and that's where they all, try and open up. And that face right there is a little bit familiar, isn't it? The anti-Muri unit. Yeah, that's the same unit that we'll see constantly, stalking us throughout the game, like in 1.1. And also here, we've seen it as well. So, keep your eyes peeled out for that robot. We'll be seeing it again and again. And there we go. We got the Mega. This is the first time you're introduced to this weapon. This is something that you can pick up, and the ammo is scarce for this weapon. Now, like already there's actually another secret in 2.5. If you jump on this invisible platform and jump all the way up here, we have DCR. These are the initials of the developer. That is something I found out on my own. Surprisingly, it's just I was fooling around seeing what happens if I would jump over there, since I was kind of keeping my eyes peeled. They also picked up the infinite MKV in case we do run out of the ammo. And here we are with Essie. Are you okay? Okay, what do you think? You and Dad, you messed up everything. Mars is gone. Kojo is dead. He's not dead. Absorbing Mars was his decision. And what do you call this? When Mars disappeared, the Earth faction set the robots on each other, and look what happened. Robot armies that would have never existed had you never scared them with this Muri stuff. I know that, listen, we can still recreate them. Just like that? These suits are just for playing with your lives? No, it isn't, everyone. And this is where the boss fight starts. And this is where we have the awesome Mega. So if you did collect the Mega ammo beforehand, which, if you're doing 100% run, I'm assuming you did, or you better have. Otherwise, this is a definite awesome weapon to have against a boss. And if you play your cards right, you can actually beat Essie without resorting to use the laser ammo. And I actually managed to do that with one spare Mega ammo left. You had to really make sure your shots count because that boss can be really hard. Man, I didn't mean to fight you. I was just mad at Kojo for what he did to Mars. So yeah, he has a pod that she couldn't destroy. I ran away from the station after he crashed. So her wounds are too severe. Hopefully we can fix her life support. But no, absorb my life force. Use it for whatever I couldn't. So that really sucks. Woa's daughter Essie is I guess you could say she died, but technically we absorbed her life force, so she didn't die. She's within us. Is that just like a secret message? Or maybe I'm probably looking way too into that. But anyway, this is where we had to go and find Kojo, as we have a image of Essie and Woa together, before she moves on. A pretty dark ending when you think about it. But everyone, thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And on the next episode, we're going to see if we can find Kojo, our son, and set him free from whatever is, holding him hostage. Thank you so much for watching this video. And until next time, take care and stay classy. Later, folks.